Other updates. US President Donald Trump said that the United States has done very little business with India and that Russia and the US do almost no business together. He expressed indifference towards India's dealings with Russia and said that he doesn't care about trade between the two economies. However, in an earlier Truth Social post on July the 30th, Trump talked about India's trade with Russia when announcing that the US would impose a 25% tariff on goods imported from India starting on August the 1st, aka tomorrow. Trump had said that India has always bought a vast majority of their military equipment and energy from Russia, which was not good. In response to the earlier Truth Social post, the Indian government said that it was studying the implications of Trump's announcement and remained dedicated to securing a fair trade deal. We're once again joined by Dr. Ajay Jua. Dr. Jua, how do you analyse this trade deal? How much impact is this really going to have on the Indian consumer and also, of course, the Indian economy in a broad sense?
Taking up the last question, or the last issue which you raised about the impact on the economy. Last time when Mr. Trump imposed 10% duty across the board, the Indian economy's rate of growth for the current year was scaled down from 6.5% to 6.2%. Now I think with this 25%, and I hope this 25% is inclusive of the 10% which was imposed earlier, and it is not over and above it, and it is not taking into account as yet the so-called penalty for India importing oil, crude oil from the US, from Russia, and the arms which he's talked about, which factually is not right. Yes, oil, about 35% now comes from Russia, but in the case of defense equipment, our dependence upon upon Russia has come down by half, from 72% to 36% in the 4 years between 2024. This is as per SIPRI, the Swedish institution which monitors all the arm flows between the countries. And the trade with the US has increased, the overall trade. And as of now, Mr. Trump makes a lot out of our merchandise surplus of about $40 billion with the US. But if you take into account the services, services to trade, to take into account the royalties which get paid to the US firms, as well as the armaments, the defense equipment, the overall surplus is in the favor of the United States. That is not being referred to in the negotiations at all, or by President Trump when he accuses India. Yesterday he used a very strong word, saying the non-tariff barriers are obnoxious or obnoxiously high. And I'll also just like to say one other thing, that yes, there is a tariff differential. India was levying 13.2% average, what is the average rate of tariff on the goods imported from the US, and the US was levying 3% on us. So there was a 10% differential. That is the one which is being sought to be narrowed down in the 5 rounds of negotiations.
Dr. Jua, I'm very sorry. I am very conscious of time. You are staying with us to discuss more updates now directly to the United States.